Do you think the perception is accurate in Rutland and Barre that they're doing more than their share of housing folks in transition out of corrections? And do you think, or if so, what do you think could be done to achieve a better balance?
Well, over time, we've had a number of discussions, I say we, the corrections department, with leaders in a number of communities about that perception, and frankly, our statistics are different in terms of the percentage of offenders who are released in individual communities. But it's also true that folks are going to be, or are more likely to be released where there is some infrastructure, where there is a court and a probation office and social service agencies and a police department. So it's more likely that more offenders are going to live in cities like Barre and Rutland than remote rural communities. But we don't believe that the proportionality is as severe as has often been suggested.
Governor, how do the cuts to the community mental health system, how does that play into helping many of Vermont's prisoners who do have mental health issues?
Many do, there's no question about it. And this is an area where we have to find a way to deliver services more effectively. I've been proud of the fact that over approximately a 5-year period since I took office, we've doubled our appropriation for mental health. It's been a priority. We made a commitment, you may recall, a few years ago for 3 consecutive 7.5% increases, even while we were reducing expenditures in some other areas. So we've made a tremendous commitment to that area of our programs in the recent past. But here we are with a $154 million problem, and we have to ask the community mental health providers to do what everybody else is doing to find ways to be more effective, to prioritize, to work within some limited means.
Where do you expect some of the since the challenges progress report didn't come up with the full $38 million, where do you think that extra money is going to come from, and how soon will you know?
Well, I don't know the answer to the latter. It depends, as Terry suggested, how quickly we get everything up and running. And again, the sooner the better. The sooner it's passed, the sooner we'll know what the requirements are, and we can put them into place. Some of it may be more traditional budget cuts. Our goal is to avoid that. But we have to do it as quickly as possible, because it's not just about 2011, it's also about future fiscal years. Remember, the $38 million is expanded to a projected $72 million in fiscal 2012. So we've got to do it as quickly as we possibly can. And there's always some level of uncertainty in budgeting, as you know. We learned after the House Appropriations Committee completed its work about the decertification or the lack of recertification of the state hospital. We now know that revenues for March are softer than for the first quarter are softer than we anticipated. So budgeting is not a precise science. There will be a budget adjustment that the legislature will consider next winter, and there'll be a chance to make some further changes both up and down, which is what the Act does.
Isn't it setting up the likelihood of the possibility of a pretty large budget adjustment next year?
I think it's too early to predict, Louis, but again, think of the bigger context here. We're a few million short in some of the recommendations and challenges for change. We've got a $154 million hole. So we've got to do as much as we possibly can, as quickly as we possibly can, to get these economies in place. And over the course of the fiscal year, the administration and legislature will make adjustments.
One thing that's already backed away from some of the challenges for change ideas. Are you okay with that? Are you fine if things get shuffled around if in the end it's $30 million?
I'm fine with looking at alternatives, as I mentioned. These are the best proposals that our team is able to put together, but remember, this is a shared responsibility, a shared commitment with the legislature, and it's certainly appropriate that key committees look at alternatives if they choose to do that. The House Commerce Committee in particular, I think, has been very constructive. Chairman Botso has said, I don't like some of these specific ideas, but I want to talk with the economic development community and legislative colleagues about different ways to go about it, so I think that's fine.
What about some of the other items that they've taken off the table? Limiting by rule, perhaps, mandated consolidation of schools.
Well, take them one at a time. I obviously have said many times throughout the years from this podium that we need to find more efficient ways of permitting. We need to attack Vermont's widely held reputation that we're not as business friendly as we need to be, that we're not as expeditious in our permitting. And this is a great opportunity to do that, given the fiscal constraints that we're confronting and the economic realities that we're trying to address. So I think it's important to make some of those changes, to send a message to the wider business world that we are open for business here and we're going to facilitate investment. On school consolidation, this is obviously not a new idea. Several commissioners of education have talked about it. Some of my predecessors, other legislators in the past have talked about it for some time. And we've got to find a way to gain an economy of scale. We can't have 4.5 students for every adult in our school system and expect to have an impact on the rising property tax burdens that Vermonters are understandably concerned about. In 5 years, the education property tax burden has doubled from $450 million to $900 million. And we've got 10% fewer kids to educate. That makes no sense. And between 2008 and 9, those 2 fiscal years, in the deepest recession of our lifetime, our school systems across Vermont added 218 employees when they had fewer kids. That's not sustainable. So if they don't like this specific idea that's on the table, I welcome others, but we've got to find a way to gain an economy of scale to alleviate the property tax burden that's so devastating to a lot of our families. You know, in Chittenden County, this year, I can't remember if it was the month of March or the quarter, but Commissioner Tabo could tell you for sure, but we had the largest number of foreclosures since statistics have been kept. I saw a report that one small town in our state had its first tax sales in decades because people are just not able to pay their taxes and keep going. This is serious. This is affecting so many families across Vermont who have to pay for a school system that is not efficient, that is growing at a time when the demand for services is declining, and is not consistent with what their reality is, trying to balance their family budgets and stay above water. So if they don't like this particular idea, I welcome some others, but this legislature should not adjourn without making some change in the way we fund our system of public education.